are you fighting mentally with yourself about money? No need. We'll do it for you. I'm your host, Arka, and welcome to our segment, Rich or Regret, where we find out if your next financial decision will make you rich or make you regret it. Now, today, in this episode, we'll be debating on an important question many professionals face. Is it worth taking a salary cut for a better work-life balance, or is it better not to? Especially with the increasing demands in the workplace, more people are prioritizing their personal well-being and time outside of work. But is the trade-off between a lower income and more personal freedom really worth it? To help us explore this question, we have two debaters ready to go head-to-head on whether taking a salary cut for better work-life balance is truly worth it. First up, we have Juan, who believes that taking a salary cut is worth it for better work-life balance. So Juan, could you tell us why you think taking the salary cut is worth it?
Yeah, well, hi everyone, my name's Juan. So I'm all for taking that salary cut. Why? Because I believe that better work-life balance can significantly reduce that of stress. It also improves mental well-being. It gives you more time to focus on a lot of things like your physical health and also, hobbies, personal interests. So, yeah, taking a pay cut, finances, we can discuss in detail later, but it also frees up a lot of time for all the important things in life, such as families, hobbies, travel, or personal development. And all of that contributes to that of a better and happier life. All right. So by balancing that work with rest and things that you love to do, we can also prevent burnout and make working years more bearable or sustainable and enjoyable also in the long run.
Thank you, Juan. Next, we have Pavitra, who is against taking a salary cut for work-life balance. Now, Pavitra, could you enlighten us on why you think taking the salary cut is not worth it?
All right, thank you, Arka. Hi, everyone. My name is Pavitra, and I'm completely against the mentality of a lower income that can balance our work life is because now, if we are already signing up for this 9 to 5 trap, I don't think so that work and life balance is based on your income or where you work. It's completely on Earth.
Okay. Your time management, I suppose?
Yes, exactly. And also, I have this question at the back of my mind, but we can get in that later. Which is, for example, if I'm already adjusted to my 10K salary, and then suddenly if I want to prioritize my work and life balance, and then I'm going for like 7 to 8 salary maybe, how can I backslide with my bills that I have adjusted with my previous income? So for me, I feel like you can fill in your pockets while balance your work and life.
Well, that is a good point, but we'll get into it later. Thank you, Pavi. And with that, let the debate begin. And of course, may the best debater win. Now, my first question for the both of you is, how do personal priorities and values influence the decision between higher pay and work-life balance? And now for my first question for the both of you is, how do personal priorities and values influence the decision between taking a higher pay and work-life balance? Let's start off with one.
Okay, so I believe that, those who prioritize that of personal well-being, your family, quality of life, we value that of work-life balance, okay? And we value it more than higher salary because there's also the question of age. Sometimes at certain age in life, you value those things more instead of trying to tire yourself out trying to make a living. These individuals, the idea of reducing stress, having more time for their loved ones, and also engaging in their personal passions and hobbies, it holds greater importance, all right, than making money or financial gain. And we might view our career as a means to support only their life outside of work, because that's what we do. We work so that we can have fun outside of work, right? We work most of the week to make sure that we can enjoy ourselves on the weekend. rather than, of course, our central focus is based on just, trying to make a salary.
All right, Bobby, your thoughts on this?
Okay, so what one trying to say is that he can do all that with a lower income. Is that what you mean?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
in the long run, you have more value in your life because you don't have time for things like your family and your health and taking time for your hobbies. Do you agree?
Okay, so maybe for me, I think we need a good income when it comes to personal priorities, especially when you want to do better for your family or you want to get a big house or a car or whatever not. And also, a higher pay often helps with career growth and development. For example, if I'm earning 5K here and if I happen to get a better opportunity the next round, I might get a greater salary. Usually it works that way, and I think that will enhance my lifestyle and I can provide better.
But the thing is, okay, you want a higher salary, you want, of course, nobody's going to reject or neglect that of a higher salary, but then it also comes with more responsibilities. So it means that it will take more time from you with that pay raise. For example, right now, if, for example, you're earning 5K and then your times are just limited to 9 to 5. What if you get promoted and get a higher salary, but now from 9 to 5 you have to work 9 to 6 or 9 to 7? That takes
There's
more
usually
time.
a saying that the higher your salary and the bigger your position, you work less.
Is that so?
I believe in that. I've seen a lot of places, a lot of people in my working place itself, and I think when you're tied down to 9 to 5, it can be any position. You're going to committed to your responsibility anyway. So the work life starts after that, and how you actually deal with it. It got nothing to do with your position, or it's
So you
actually
feel
based on your identity, like how you do it. It's not based on our position that we have it at your workplace.
So it takes people's own management to be able
Correct.
to combat it. All
Yes.
right, next question. Does having a higher salary truly equate to a lower quality of life? I believe you're getting into it just now. So, or is it the opposite? Can having a higher salary provide more opportunities for leisure and relaxation because you have more money to spare? Bobby, maybe you should take this away.
Okay. This might be out of reach for lower income, but I definitely believe that higher salary, we can enhance our lifestyle, actually even in a better way, going for better trips and even trying fine dining for the first time. And sometimes you try to live within the means when you have a lower income.
Living paycheck to paycheck,
Yes, I've been
yes.
in that position before, and when I worked hard for a better, a better position or better pay, my life enhanced a lot. Like, for example, I can take Grab to work every day.
So would you say having a slightly more difficult position at work is worth it because your salary kind of provides a retail therapy?
Yes, because it's going to be a fulfilling return in the future. Maybe, like I can, how to say, maybe suffer now and enjoy it later.
Play hard, work hard,
Yes.
I suppose.
I rather suffer now lah, then maybe my 40s I can shake leg a bit.
Wow, okay, that's an interesting point of view. Okay, but you got to also look at it on the flip side. Higher salary can also sometimes come with a lot of negative trade-offs, right? We mentioned it earlier. Most high-paying jobs demand longer hours, like I mentioned, more responsibility, greater stress, and also that leads to burnout and exhaustion. And because you are trying to chase that higher pay, you sacrifice a lot of things: personal time, family life, self-care, and ultimately that leads to your overall quality of life. Even if you can afford that high-paying meal, or if you can afford to take Grab to work every day, at the end of the day, the higher our salary goes, the more we have to spend for some reason. What if let's take into for example, what if we were earning our fresh grad salary? We were able to survive on our fresh grad salary, and now that we've throughout the years we've had a lot of increments, and all those increments, our lifestyle becomes increasingly higher.
Hence why we need a better pay with all this SST,
But if we
GST,
live within
the
our
sugar
means,
tax.
if we live within our means, and if we focus on the quality of life that we have, we can easily have a job where we don't need to have higher salary to get better work-life balance.
So you're comfortable with a post-grad lifestyle until you're in your 60s? No commitment, no car,
I've seen
no house.
companies where they offer us executive position and ask us to do more than that. Yeah, so like what one said, if you have higher pay, you have higher responsibility. That depends where we are actually placing in, but I do have seen, even when you're at the executive stage, they have asked us to do more than that, or even doing OTs without payments.
So what you're saying is
So it
it
doesn't make it-
every
exactly.
position has some sort of like overworkload.
Yes.
All right. It seems like we're butting heads here. All right, one, I can see, calm the bull down. Now, my next question is about flexibility. All right, this is, I think, we'll see who shines here. Now, the improved well-being from a better work-life balance could lead to greater opportunities and income in the future. One, do you think that's right?
I agree. When it comes to a better work-life balance, okay, you set yourself these conditions for long-term success, because right now, at this age, you know, it will help clear your mind. You will have a better prospect in the future. You can even work on yourself. When you have that work-life balance, you can work on setting your future targets, doing maybe side income work, or focusing on things that you want to do instead of what you're forced to do. Okay, so when we prioritize our well-being and manage our work hours effectively, better mental clarity, creativity, also productivity. And when you put all these together, you can use that to your advantage to find other sources of income. You know, we live in a world right now where having just one income is not enough. You know, we have to have at least like 2-3 side hustles just to get by. But you know, why force yourself to work that 9 to 5 when you can probably make more doing a side hustle or doing something
But
that
that's
you
going to
want?
accumulate to the amount of the higher paying jobs. And if we were to work like side gigs or part-time, that's more constraining, right? Do you think we have time for more self-love, self-care, stuff like that?
I think, for me personally, I would prefer working a side gig than actually working a 9 to 5, because you get to choose your own hours. You get to choose when you want to work. You get to choose how much you want to make. All right, and it depends on what you want in your work-life balance, the quality of life that you want or you need, instead of, okay, you're working a 9 to 5 and you are forced into that situation, and that's it. There's no other way around it. You're forced to be here 9 to 5. You're forced to work those hours for that specific amount of pay, and there's no you know, flexibility at all. And you know, in the long run, it's just a healthier option, in my
Understand?
opinion. Yeah, it prevents burnout. You know, it makes sure that people are energized still. We are motivated to reach our goals, and like I say, long run sustainability. It can lead to better career longevity and continuous growth.
All right, point from one. Now, Pavitra, do you have anything to rebut that?
Okay, like one just now told us that he's okay working with side gigs and part-time works like that, right? But I feel like that's completely based at where you are, because when it comes to like high-paying jobs or even position, you have great opportunities to greater networking. Okay, so when it comes to part-time job, it's based like what you're doing. Otherwise, you can limit your growth and opportunities.
So you rather focus all your skills and energy into one avenue,
Yeah.
whereas one would like to diversify. So you think you would rather focus on one task instead of burning yourself out doing multiple side incomes.
But you won't be burning yourself out. Like, the thing is, have you ever heard of the expression, when you're doing something you love, it doesn't become work? Huh? So, for example, I'm just going to use my personal experience as an example. If I were to become a tennis coach, you know, part-time or on the side, and they make quite a lot of money because of the clientele, you know, if you do that, you love what you do, it becomes more of a relaxing mind space for you. Like, you are doing something that you love, and you're doing something that you enjoy, the hours just fly by. Whereby if you're working a 9 to 5, you're doing something, you're forced to do something because it's work. You know, everyone's
But
just
that
looking
is
at the
also
clock.
based on our position.
Based on your position, yes. But
For example, I'm a live stream host. I love talking, and if I need to talk 9 to 5, then I enjoy talking. Then I don't think so. It's
and
going to
how
make
will
much
that
of a
affect
difference.
your mental health balance? How will that, in the long run, wouldn't you rather do something that you have more control over, that you have the flexibility to basically decide the outcome? You get to pick your hours. You get to pick how much you earn and everything. And then at the end of the day, you are less stressed. You don't have to worry about upper management. You know,
So
on your
essentially,
third.
you're closer to being your own boss, is what you're trying to
Exactly,
say.
because if you were to do freelancing, then I would agree with that. But now it's the matter of low and high income, right? So I will definitely go for high income, something that I would love to do. So I think I would just go with this way.
Stick with the 9 to 5.
Yes, 9
and
to
then
5. Yes.
After 5, you do
correct.
whatever you
Yes.
want.
Then after
Alright.
5, I can do whatever I want.
Okay, next question. Now, are there ways to achieve a better work-life balance without having to compromise on salary? Maybe who feels like they can handle this?
I'll go.
All right.
I think yes, there are ways. Okay.
Okay.
And it's being implemented all around the world ever since after COVID happened. You know, we've all been through it. Better work-life balance. We can, you know, without compromising, of course, salary. It can be accomplished like through remote working, working from home, or hybrid work arrangements.
That is dependent on where you work, obviously,
Exactly,
and
it
their
depends.
management.
And the management, of course, but it is an idea. It is something that can be implemented. So we don't have to put ourselves in the focus. We're also talking to our audience here, you know, who believe that these hybrid work arrangements allows people to save time, save energy on commuting. You know, you don't have to pay so much for Grab, so that will, you know, save up a lot of money for you. Okay, and also it increases productivity while maintaining their full salaries. So these kinds of opportunities, it helps people to create that work-life balance and also have that high-paying salary. So now they're spending less on things that that they are forced to spend on. Like when we have to come to the office, you have to pay to get here. You have to pay for the lunch here. Whereby if you're working from home, yeah, you don't pay as much to get to where you need to go because everything's already there. You, for example, you can cook from home for during lunch or eat whatever's at home, and then in the long run, hey, hello, I'm saving up a lot of money. Why not?
All right, so aside from a flexible schedule, as one pointed out, what other ways can we compromise aside from our salary for a better work-life balance?
Okay, I agree with one's first point, the remote working, since we have that options available since pandemic. The second thing I would say is maybe we can set boundaries with our colleagues and bosses.
Okay.
Okay, I understand that when it comes to when we fall in this trap 9 to 5, there are people who will reach out to us after working hours.
Oh, we've heard it. Be a team player.
Yes.
So on.
So I think that is completely on us. Like if we have to, then we need to attend to. Otherwise, we can put it in a proper manner.
Prioritize lah.
Correct. And then
But there's still a
efficiency.
risk.
Efficiency, maybe get everything done during that 9 to 5 job and shut everyone off. And also at the same time, we can utilize our AL, MCs and unpaid if you feel drained out during your 9 to 5.
But there's always a limit. There's always a limit to how many leaves you can take. That's one point I want to make it clear. There's also always it's a dream for us to, you know, shut off after 5 and not be contacted by anyone after work. That's it's a dream, I tell you. It won't be a dream come true, I don't know, but to me, I think one way that people should focus on is like companies need to recognize that happy, well-rested employees with good mental productivity, they can be more productive at work, and it answers the question of efficiency as well. So companies should offer more benefits like flexibility to help maintain their retention of the employees, and also it ensures that employees can maintain a high quality of life as well with a reduced salary. So ultimately it's about the modern workforce nowadays.
Yeah.
we need to find a way to find that balance.
All right, we
Yes.
talked about flexible hours and we also talked about setting boundaries, but you mentioned the modern workforce. Surely we have tools that can help us with our time management or maybe help us with getting tasks done, are there not?
There are a lot of things with the intervention of AI now. There's a lot of things that we can use to our advantage that makes the work process so much easier,
Smoother.
so much smoother, so that we do not have to stress about trying to grind everything with our bare hands during the 9 to 5.
So instead of work hard, play hard, work smart.
Smart, yes.
Always say that. Work
Correct.
smart instead of work hard.
It can be lower income or higher income, just work smart.
True.
But the most important thing, it's work-life balance.
Balance.
That's the one that we wanna. That's the key thing that we want right now. Making sure that we're not being overworked, we're not too stressed, we're not getting migraines every day, right?
So I believe in the end that's all dependent on you. Are you willing to take a pay cut or would you rather get a higher pay at the expense of maybe suffering a little bit at work? But it seems both our debaters here made very solid points. So let's do a quick recap on both sides. So starting with one who's all for taking a salary cut because he feels that you prioritize personal well-being, family, and quality of life. That itself outweighs the need for higher salary because you spend quality time rather than spending money. Now, reducing this, you believe, will reduce stress and you'll have more time for loved ones and pursue personal passions, and that can become more important than financial gain. There's also the matter of high-paying jobs that often come with longer hours, more responsibility, and greater stress, which can lead to burnout. So balancing work and life improves long-term success by enhancing mental clarity, creativity, and productivity. You also brought up having a better work-life balance that can create conditions for long-term success, even boosting income in the future, just not right now. And you also believe that by achieving a better work-life balance without compromising on salary, it is essential in today's evolving work culture. And one of the ways to accomplish this is through remote or hybrid work arrangements that you mentioned earlier. Whereas Pavi here, who is against taking a salary cut, she feels that individuals that are focusing on long-term goals such as buying a house, building a retirement fund, or providing for your family, all these commitments you have, you can't exactly live the post-grad lifestyle forever. You might see having a higher income as essential to achieving those ambitions. And a higher salary does not necessarily equate to a lower quality of life, right? You can actually provide more opportunities for leisure and relaxation because you can actually afford it. She also feels that by taking a salary cut, it might limit immediate opportunities and income growth in certain high-demand industries, because how can you demand for a higher salary when you've been working with a lower pay this whole time, right? So she thinks that increased flexibility like working from home or even part-time roles may also limit access to higher paying projects or reduce networking opportunities because you'd be so busy trying to reach out here and there. So it seems that both sides here have presented really strong arguments, but it's up to you, the audience, to decide on who won this debate. Was it One or Pavi? Drop us a comment below and tell us who you think made the better case. Be sure to follow us at cleverstock.my on our social media channels, and don't forget to visit www.cleverstock.live to watch our live sessions from Monday to Friday where we cover everything finance. Ta-ta!
Scan now and download Cleverstock, your trusted source for market insights.